So if someone had told me 7 years ago that I would be a missionary in Papua New Guinea, I would have told them they were crazy. Well, when I think of missionaries going out in the field, generally you think of young married couples and maybe their kids are little. For me, it's kind of the opposite. I'm kind of having to get rid of the life that I've had for 57 years. There's a lot of stuff that you collect and a lot of stuff that you have, and that part is kind of easy to leave behind. There are some keepsakes that you collect. I'm also leaving my job. I make really good money there, and I have all the benefits and retirement, but it's okay. I know that the Lord will provide for me in the long run because I'm being obedient to His call. But probably the hardest thing is just family. My kids are grown up, and so I'm leaving my kids behind, along with grandbabies. But I hope it's a good example for them as they're growing up to maybe hopefully someday serve the Lord themselves. So I've taken 3 short-term trips. Probably after the second trip, I was just so sad leaving the missionaries, and the Lord gave me a heart for service, and all I really wanted to do was serve these people. When I came back, I really struggled back and forth with that, and a friend pretty much just came up to me, so why don't you just go? And I was, why don't I just go? And so that's how it pretty much all started. I had heard a story about a guy named Charles Plum in Vietnam. He was a fighter pilot. He was shot down by a surface-to-air missile, and he had to eject. And he landed in enemy territory and became a prisoner of war for 6 years. But he was released. Years later, he was sitting in a restaurant with his wife, and some guy walked up to him and said, "Aren't you Charles Plum?" And he said, "Yes." And he goes, "Weren't you a pilot in Vietnam?" And Charles was amazed. "Well, yes, I was. How did you know that?" He goes, "Well, I packed your parachute." To me, that was an amazing story, because here's this guy that Charles had no idea who he was, how he supported him, saved his life. And for me, when I think of that story, I think of supporting the missionaries in the tribes. And if there's any way that I can, pack their parachute, even if it's just, holding their baby while they're in the doctor's office, or whatever I can do to keep them, even if they're just in there one more day, to share the gospel, to tell somebody about Jesus, then that's what I really want to be doing. One of my favorite verses is that verse in Isaiah about how beautiful on the mountain are the feet of him who brings the good news. And I love that verse, not because I'm going, but because of all the people who are out there right now serving in Papua New Guinea and in the tribes and really all over the world. And that is where my heart is right now. My heart is to serve those beautiful feet, and if I can go over there and just wash their feet, that's really all I want to do. Just knowing that I'm serving Him. I've served myself my whole life, and now it's just time to serve the Lord. And if I can do that by supporting other people who are spreading the gospel to people who've never heard Jesus' name before. And I know at my age that I can't go into the tribes. I just can't. But if I can help, then it's all worth it. And I can be without, and I can miss my children and miss my grandbabies. And I know that that Jesus loves me and He's got me. And I'm content with that.